everybody, I'm so excited to be back again doing a Friday Live. It seems like it has been forever. Um, so yes, I am so happy to be back, and I'm going to show you some wonderful things with the Link Together bundle. It has this great stamp set with some really nice greetings. It has the dies, of course, that coordinate with it. Nothing really punches out of this because this is just a sentiment set, but it has, some a diamond, an oval, and it has flowers in this lattice piece. Just absolutely love this. But the best part of this bundle is the Link Together decorative masks, in my opinion. So, anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm not going to use all 5 masks. It does come with 5 masks. They have little embossed numbers in the corner. You can absolutely go in and mark them again with a permanent marker or a label maker or something, if that is easier for you. So you have the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, look at that design, and number 5. So today I'm going to be using number 5 and number 1. You can use multiple different combinations of these. It's practically endless. So anyway, I hope that you learn to love these as much as I do. I'm going to show you where you can find this. It is in the mini catalog, the January to April 2025 mini catalog. You can always also search for it online under Linked Together and it will pop up. So if you want to find it in the mini catalog, just go to the back index page, look for Linked Together. It will tell you that it is on page 49. So then you just look for page 49, and there you have it. So it is a gorgeous bundle. They even show you some of the things that you can do with it. This lattice piece will even layer over some of it. It is just, oh, and then just look what they've done here. There's just so many things that you can do with this bundle. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put this up here, and I'm just going to show you a couple of little things that I did that I thought looked absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to get these little pieces together. So I had a play. I played around with these. I used different combinations. This one was all 5 combinations. This one was the first 4, 1 through 4. This one was just 1 and 4. And I did a gradient. Same with this one, I did a gradient. This one is 1 and 2. This one is really nice. This was 1 and 3. And then this one is 2 and 3, where there's just a tiny little difference there. So you can do that. You can also come in and use it on designer series paper. And then you can also use some of the embossing paste with that as well. Just one little tip, if you're using embossing paste with these stencils, go ahead and get them into warm soapy water as quickly as you can and let them soak for a while so that you can get all of that paste off. So that is just my little spiel about the masks. So we are going to get started. Oh, and you can also do, like, use the white ink. I did this on some designer series paper. So there you have it. And I'm going to bring in a piece of my grid paper because I could do it on the glass mat, but then I have a whole bunch of ink I have to clean off of the glass mat. So I'm just going to bring in a piece of grid paper. And I have some washi tape down here that I've been using that I've kind of taken a little bit of the sticky off so that it doesn't rip my paper. And I have marked some spaces on there. So what I did is I decided I wanted to use this center line here, just come down a couple of spaces from the top. And so just kind of line that up with this little top line on my two spaces down on my grid paper, and this, and I went ahead and I taped it down on two sides, and as you can see, I went ahead with a pencil. Okay, I'm trying to get a bunch of, does anybody else get their hair or their pet's hair just everywhere? This is my hair that is sticking to this tape here. So just use this and then just take a pencil and mark the notch in this corner, especially if you want to be extra careful for lining up, for doing it again, you know, lining up your stencils. You can actually do all four corners like I have done. But you have your paper that you want to use. So I have gone ahead, let me get one out here, and I'm using, let's see, Barely Beige. Yes, Barely Beige. And I cut this down to 4 inches, to the size that I wanted it, to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And then I just kind of lined this up. You can sort of see this paper through the stencil here. So I lined it up so that I could, you know, my edges were kind of even. And then I marked it. But first, I have to put some tape on the back. So this is just some washi tape I'm putting on the back to hold that in place. This is a very important step. And then after I lined it up so that I could see just a little bit of an edge around there, I went ahead and marked that with a pencil on all four corners as well. So you can kind of see that, that I have marked that. It's kind of, you can see kind of the dark edges there. I'm going to hold it up just a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see all the pencil marks there. Alright, that's taped down good. This, make sure that this is all lined up where it should be, and this is taped down good. And I'm going to bring in some ink. This is Petal Pink. You can barely see that. I did go ahead with a label maker and mark that on the end so that I know that that is my Petal Pink. And I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to bring in a blending brush. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a large blending brush. And let's see, I want, because I'm going to be doing this several times, I'm going to bring in an extra piece of just scrap paper. This is just scrap paper. It has like it's in the inside, it just has an old, you know, what was used, it didn't print very well, so I'm using it as scrap paper. And so you want to take some of it off. You want to get your brush all loaded up good. But you want to take the first little bit off so that you don't get really dark blotchy marks when you're blending with your mask. So we're just going to come in and we're blending Petal Pink onto the basic beige. We're not using basic white this time, so that's going to be a little bit interesting. We're going for kind of a vintagey, maybe a little bit of a grungy vintagey, or what's that called? No, I can't remember what they called that. Shabby chic. Yes, kind of a vintage shabby chic look is what we're going for today. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I was a little bit late because I was resetting my camera. My camera was not really in the position I wanted it to be, so I had to kind of take a little time to reset my camera. So we're just going ahead and getting this on here because I am going for a little bit of a shabby chic look. It doesn't have to, you know, be fully covered, and I am going to darken up a few areas. So I'm just going to take a little peek. Alright, that looks pretty good there. So remember, you can always add ink, but you can't take it away. So now I'm just going to add a little bit more in a few areas, just darken up a few areas on here. And hopefully this isn't sliding around for the camera too much. So we're just kind of darkening up a few areas. So that we can give this a little bit of a shabby chic vintage look there. That is what I'm going for. So we're just kind of, like I said, you can add ink, but you can't take it away, so just be careful as how you're adding the ink. And again, go ahead and have your scratch paper so you can blot it off first. Unless you just, really want those blotchy look, and then, absolutely just play around with it and do it the way you like it, because it is your creation after all. All right, so now we have enough of the petal pink, because I am going to go ahead and add crumb cake to this for the next stencil, the next decorative mask. Stampin' Up! Calls their stencils decorative masks. So I'm going to add, I'm going to change inks. I could absolutely keep with the same ink and just keep getting darker and darker with the same color. That also looks really well. That's what I did in my initial samples at the beginning, was I just kind of did a monochromatic and just kept layering bits of color until I got it the way I wanted it. Alright, so now we have this on here. Get our masking tape back on, make sure that's secure. I'm going to bring in a different blending brush and the crumb cake ink. And yes, I am still using the really, really old one. It's still working well. And I can still get ink refills for it. So again, we're going to get the blotchy parts off first. And now we're going to come on and we're going to blend in some of that crumb cake for our next design. And we're going to start out fairly light, get it all coated with kind of a fairly light amount of ink. I'm going to keep going there. I'm going to take a little peek, see if it's how I want it yet. Maybe just a little bit more in a couple of areas. Have a little bit more in the middle. Take another little peek. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to darken up a couple of areas. Just like oops. And it slipped just a little bit, so just make sure that that's down like you want it. Just darken up a couple of areas like I did before. So you just keep going until you get it the way you want it to. As you can see, I've started darkening up a few areas. So instead of you watching me to complete all this, because I think I wanted it a little bit darker, I'm just going to use a piece that I already created beforehand. I'll show you that piece. So just the magic of video. You can see this is what I came up with. So we're going to take this away. And we're going to use this piece here for our sample. So if you saw what I posted earlier today, a few hours ago, the monochromatic one that I did, I decided to just change up my monochromatic one just a little bit, as I've done in the past, to just show you a slightly different look. So that is my monochromatic one, and um, I just changed up and I decided to just add just a tiny little bit of color to the monochromatic, keeping with kind of a muted, um, vintagey look here. So my card base is crumb cake, and it is a standard half sheet of cardstock, half sheet of an A2 cardstock. So it's half of an 8.5 by 11, so half of 11 is 5.5. And then we have the 8.5 inch here. So 5.5 by 8.5. Half of 8.5 is 4.25. So that is where our score line is. So if you've heard some of this before, just forgive me, for repeating it. I just like to repeat it so people can remember, and so just in case there is somebody new watching. All right. So now we have our card base, and we have our first layer here. So our first layer, again, was 4 inches by 5.25 inches. You will have to adjust this if you are in a country that uses metric. And if you contact me, I can probably help you out with that if you have trouble with that. So there we have our first layer, which is just an eighth. You get an eighth of an inch border all the way around. So if you make it a 1/4 inch slash, you get an eighth of an inch all around border. And we have our ribbon, which is the basic beige bordered ribbon. So this is a really nice ribbon. We have two little pieces. We have two pieces here. We have a large piece, a long piece, and a short piece. So this is Joy's favorite faux bow. And we have a 6-inch piece approximately, and an approximately 3-inch piece. So you're going to get to see me tie this. For those of you who've seen me tie this a lot of times. So we're just going to go like we're making a knot. And we're going to tie it towards one end. And we're going to leave that little loop open there. And we're going to slip the small piece underneath the loop. So we're just sticking that right into that loop there. And putting that right underneath. And we're pulling it through. We're going to make it approximately in the middle. And then we're just going to pull this end over here. At the same time, we're pulling this end here. So we're just, and sometimes I'll pull the longer end first if I want to keep it over towards that end. And then you can adjust this a little bit too. So just keep kind of pulling on it, playing with it until you get it how you like it. So there we have that. Didn't take very long, and we're going to bring in some glue dots, some mini glue dots. And the glue is right here, little dots. And just make sure you don't get you get the end piece that you pulled, not the piece that was underneath the loop. And just going to put a glue dot on the end there. And I decided I want it right here to come across these diamonds. It stuck to my thumb. Okay, so it's coming right across those diamonds with this knot kind of in this little diamond right here. So this pattern of decorative mask really made it easy to line up where I wanted my ribbon. Just happened to work out that way. I'm going to go ahead and put another glue dot on this end. Again, I'm lining it up on these smaller diamonds here. There we have this, and I can go ahead and I can play with this a little bit more, pulling it different directions. until I get it the way I want it. So there's how that works. So hopefully everybody is learning maybe a little something or just enjoying me putting this together. So let's see. Let's go ahead and just attach this since we can at this point. And we're going to bring in some dimensionals, some Stampin' Dimensionals. Because, you know, Joy loves dimensionals, so she likes to put dimension on lots of different layers. If you wanted to mail this and have it be a little less bulky, you could absolutely skip the dimensionals on this layer and just glue it directly to your card base. That would make it a little less bulky. Make sure those are all down. I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to take off these papers. I love my Take Your Pick tool. It makes things really easy. Oh, oh, that one's already off. So now we have, this one is coming off. Alright, there we go. Everything is off. They're all sticky. And I'm going to put this on my card base. Okay, so I notice I have a little bit of fraying right there. So this is just a sanding block that I've cut into pieces. This is just some electrical tape on the end. This is just a sanding block, like a nail buffing block with really, really, really fine sandpaper. So this will get kind of any, if you've got little fuzzies on the edge of your cardstock, maybe your paper trimmer, maybe your blade got a little bit dull as it created some frayed edges, you can just use a like a nail buffing, really fine sanding block to get that off. Anyway, there we have that part. And now I have an oval that I've die cut. Again, I'm not using basic white, I am using basic beige, so basic beige with the crumb cake. And I needed to go a little bit darker on my words than the crumb cake. So I chose pecan pie. And this is my pecan pie ink, and I use the Enjoy from this set. So that's what I'm using here. And I figured Enjoy, it could, you know, just, you know, I could use several different things in the inside if I used an Enjoy on the outside. So I have my Enjoy here. This is a photopolymer stamp, so it is clear, you can see through it. And I think I might need to bring in my piercing mat. Oh, let me get it over here. I bring in my piercing mat because this is a photopolymer and this is kind of a bold font here. So I'm hoping that will give me a little bit better image with that, and I am going to stamp it up at the top towards the right. I'm going to hold it there for just a little bit, let the ink absorb into the paper. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, I'm going to get that out of the way. So there we have that piece. And we are going to bring in some other die cut pieces. Okay, I had a backup Enjoy just in case that one just went really wonky. So, just a little cheat that I do for my filming. Right, this is our inside piece. We're going to set that aside for now. And I die cut more than I needed for the flowers. Oh, because, ooh, I gotta show you this. So this set of dies, you can cut out, it cuts out 4 of these flowers at once. And then I did cut out, basically I cut out 3 of these and 1 was trimmed down. So I'm going to need some for the inside. I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to leave some for the inside and I need some for the outside. I need these for the outside. But I just love that these you can cut 2 at once, these you can cut 4 at once. Absolutely love that Stampin' Up! Designed this die set that way. Alright, so because this is going to be partially hanging off, I did not use adhesive sheets. I could have, and then just used an embossing buddy to get some of the stickiness off of the parts I didn't want sticky. Let's see, how do I want this? Am I doing this right? Whoops. Yes, I am. Okay. So I have this little fine tip glue bottle. It is a metal fine tip. I did load it with the Tombow mono liquid glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue. And so that is what is inside this bottle. I did get this bottle online. So it is kind of one of my favorite things. So you can ask me where I got this bottle if you wish. And I'm going to bring in some tweezers because that's got a lot of glue on it. Okay, come on. There we go. Alright, so this is going to go, this is going to attach right about here. And then my short piece, I need to put some on my short piece. And I think I need most of that covered here. So just getting little bits of glue on here. I could also use my silicone mat and a sponge. That would work also. And again, I could have used the adhesive sheets and then just used an embossing buddy to take some of the stickiness off the parts I did not want sticky. So there's many ways to do this. And this one needs to go right about here. And I have a little piece right there I need to trim off. So let's bring in my snips and just trim off this little piece right there. You do not need that piece. So there we have that. Oh, this color here. What color did I use? On here I used crumb cake that I also blended some additional crumb cake ink on top of to make it a little bit darker than your regular crumb cake ink. But this time I used Lost Lagoon and Petal Pink for my die cuts here. And let's go ahead. We need dimensionals on the backs of these. So because these are fairly large, and I am going to put some gems in the center of these, I'm just going to go ahead and use some of the regular size Stampin' Dimensionals. That's what I decided I would do on this piece. So we're just building our focal point at this stage. And nope, I didn't do that right. Okay, well, this one I did not put 2 of those on dimensionals. So what I'm going to do for one of those, because I've already put the dimensional on there, I'm going to double stack this one. So this one's going to be extra bulky, but I can hand deliver this or just pay a little extra postage, maybe put it in a padded envelope if needed. So that's how I'm going to fix that one. That one's sticky. This one. And we're going to take the paper off this one as well. Alright. Okay, that's a single one. So that one is going to go over here about, let's see, how did I do this one? About there. Okay. Nothing is ever exactly the same twice, I have found. And then this one, what am I going to do this one? This one is going about there, and then this one will go in the middle between those two, like so. Alright, so there we have that. It's already very bulky, but I think I still want it to be popped up again. So, just my personal preference. I love lots of dimension, and sometimes I'd rather just create the card I want, and then if I need to mail it versus hand deliver it, I'll just go ahead and pay the extra postage. So yes, if you do not have this set yet, it is kind of on my must-have list. So just keep that in mind when you're filling out your order forms, and you know, you might want to add this to your list. And there is an April sales challenge going on, so if you are on my team, be sure to remember to get as many sales as you can during April, and you will have a special little gift from Stampin' Up! For meeting your sales challenge. And if you're one of my customers, I would absolutely enjoy you to order at any time, especially during April. So, for this one, I did use the neutral matte dots. I used the basic beige smaller ones for this one, but I decided I wanted to change it up just a little bit, so I'm using the antique pearls, which, spoiler alert, they are going to be in the new catalog that is coming out in May. So these are absolutely beautiful. They are kind of an off-white, and they have such a pretty kind of pearlescent sheen to them. Oh, they're beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some of these smaller ones with, hopefully my take your pick tool will pick this up. We're just going to put this right in the center. We're going to cover up the dimensional that is there. Hold on. And our last one. So we have it right here. So there is my the gems. And let's see. Oh, I need to trim my ribbon. So let's go ahead, bring my paper snips in again. I'm going to trim this ribbon at an angle. We probably want to save a pair of snips just for ribbon, because they will get dull when you cut paper with them. So there we have it. There is the outside part all finished. And we need to bring a little bit of the outside to the inside. Plus, if we put this here, it will be a little bit lighter color, so when we sign it and write our personalized note in here, it will show up just a little bit better. So let's go ahead, let's bring in some of this. Yes, I'm just going to put this on with some, again, this multi-purpose liquid glue in this fine tip glue bottle. I'm just going to dot a little bit on here. Don't get very much, just a little bit. Just make sure you're covering most of the areas. Again, bring in our tweezers, and we're just going to put this right here, I believe. I think that'll be fine. And let's bring in some of these. We're not going to put these on dimensionals because we don't need extra bulk on the inside. Whoops. Okay. If you get a little glue on your mat, just wipe it off and then come back with a warm soapy water later. So just getting a little bit kind of around that hole. Where are we going to put this? I'm trying to put this so that I might not need any kind of a gem over it, because if I'm just having the basic beige shining through, it kind of gives the appeal, the look, the appearance of that it has a slightly different colored center. So there, I'm just going to leave it like that. Because these antique pearls are fairly flat, you probably could add them to the inside because they won't give it too much bulk, but I'm just going to leave mine like this because the basic beige is showing through the center. So now, what do we need? Okay, some multi-purpose liquid glue. Just going to use the big bottle this time. And we're going to attach this to the inside. Needs to go this way. This is just going to go in the inside. So now we have brought some of the outside to the inside to make our card look extra special. And this time, surprise of all surprises, I did an envelope to go with this. Now, I needed to turn it this way in order for it to, yeah, it wouldn't fit on the flap very well, the mask, but it does fit on this side. Now, I did not initially intend to do anything over here, but when I was doing my stencil, let's see, yes, I was doing my stencil, I had it in here like this, and I forgot to put some paper here to mask it. I put a little something here to mask off the rest of my envelope, so I wound up with this nice little line. I'm like, what could I do? Well, it is shabby chic, and so I decided to go ahead and grunge up the rest of the envelope a little bit because there are no mistakes. There's just opportunities to do a little extra. So there is my envelope, and some of you have already chimed in. I'm so happy that which one of these you like. So there is the monochromatic, and then there is the adding a little bit of color with the muted shabby chic look, kind of the pastel vintage look there. Now, let's see, what time is it? We don't really have much time, but if you want to stick around, I am going to show you a few of the swaps that I got. I'm going to show you some some things that I got in the tag swap that I did. First off, before I show you the swap cards, I'm going to show you this adorable little tag that I got from Kelly McConkey. She is a really good friend of one of my team members, which is Rose, and she went ahead and made me a tag for my bag, as well as she made Rose. She made a bunch of tags for a bunch of people. This is so adorable, so cute. Thank you so much, Kelly McConkey. So I just had to show you this. This is with the little sweet pea set. And she took the little alphabet and she did my name. She's got designer series paper. It's just adorable. So now for my tag swap. Alright. So these, we had to put them in cellophane. So this one is by Laura, the organizer of the swap, and this is the swap that she did for our tags. We had to make large tags. So this would be like, you could put this on the outside of a gift bag and make it look extra special. So that is Laura's. So let's go ahead, let's put hers back in, and let's bring out the next one. So the next one is this one here. Oh my goodness. Talk about vintagey. Oh, it is so cute. This is by Melissa Davies. And she had a little QR code. That's smart. So we're going to bring this out so you can see this a little better. She has, oh, she's got like Wink of Stella on these die cut butterflies. Oh my goodness, I don't think you can see this. See that? But this is so cute. She had designer series paper in the back. She's got the little frame from Storybook Friends. She's got lots of different dies from all kinds of different sets and things. Oh, this is just, you know, definitely over the top. These were over the top tags. Was this swap? So that you're going to see some really fancy things with lots of die cuts and things. All right, so now we have this one here. This was is kind of the size of a card front, so you could actually turn this one into a card if you wanted. And this one is, let's see, who did this one? This one is by Maria Mitstarfer. This is really pretty. She's got black with the Blackberry Bliss. And she's got some designer paper here, ribbon, embellishments. These are the new, oh yeah, these are the new, I think they're coming out in May maybe? These are online exclusives that are coming out. These are some rectangle dies. And then this new folder, which is a corrugated folder. Beautiful. She's got a cute little button here. Oh yeah. Very, very, very nice. So we're going to put this one back in its little envelope to protect it. And we're going to bring up the next one. So I don't have very many of these. I think there's only like 8 of them. So if you're kind of hanging out to see what I've got. Okay, so this one's again from that Citrus Blooms maybe? Maybe you can correct me if I'm not saying this right. Anyway, again, designer series paper, embossing folders, got the teeny tiny little bees. Oh, those are so cute. And then other embellishments, and then greeting, and oh yeah. So this, just think of giving a gift to somebody in a little gift bag and adding this to your gift bag. Absolutely beautiful. Oh yeah, they use Wink of Stella and the little blooms on the designer series paper. Very, very pretty. Lots of nice touches. Oh, and who made this? This is Rhonda J. Smith from Port Orchard, Washington. Yes, great job, Rhonda. So get this back. See if I can get this back in its little bag. Okay, just a few more. This is one that they use, the Wild Wheat, which is a color that is going away. So if you really like that wild wheat color, be sure that you order some before it goes away. This is an in color from 2023 to 2025. This one, oh, this is by Laura Fernsler. She's the organizer of the swap. So she has all this fun mesh, gold mesh ribbon. She has the, so this is wild wheat and pretty peacock. So she has the gold and pretty peacock ribbon here. She has the gold edged trim, the ribbon that comes with the gold and the silver. Let's see, lots of embossing, the embossing folder, the designer series paper, and then she has the little greening here. Just lots and lots of texture on this. So I'll put this back in here. And we still have a couple more. And then mine at the end. Okay, so this one, oh, again, this sweet pea set is so, so sweet. Alright, who made this one? This one is by Mindy Clove. And it's all taped up here. We had to put them in some kind of basically cellophane bag to protect it. And this one is very well protected. Okay, maybe I can get this out now. I don't know how I'm going to get it back in, but I can get it out. Oh, and she even told us what she used um, for this. So that's very, very nice. Oh, she did the back as well. So here's the front. This is Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, and Pretty Peacock with basic white. She's got the Welcome Sweet Pea. Oh, she's got that punch, which I can't remember what it's called. The dies, I think, are primarily from the Stylish Shapes. She's got all these different ribbons, and then the gold twine, and then some gems. Yes, absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, the back. So thank you so much, Mindy Clove. All right, so now we have this one here. Oh, isn't this sweet? It says Easter greetings. This is with the Storybook Friends. So it's got the little frame. It's got the little rabbit here that she has um, stamped, die cut, and colored herself. She's got the ribbons. This is, I think, petal pink. With this designer series paper, which I believe is Old Olive. And then she's got the crumb cake. It looks very, very, very nice and very sweet. Oh, who is this? This is Pam Morris. Thank you. Oh, and then, yes, those antique pearls. Very, very, very nice. Thank you so much, Pam Morris. All right, so now you are waiting, I'm sure. Yes, these tags are beautiful. You are waiting for mine. So this one is mine. This one I used, mine has some gems. It doesn't have a lot of extra ribbon on it. It does have some of the, oh, what is this called? Is this the linen thread? I think this might be the linen thread. It does have several layers. This is Pool Party Pecan Pie, and of course the basic white. And then I used the Country Woods Designer Series paper and those dies from the Birdhouse. Oh, what is that one called? Country Birdhouse, I think is what it's called. Yes, Country Birdhouse, the dies from the Country Birdhouse. I did do some blending on the background of the pool party as kind of a back to kind of give this a little presence behind my basic white. And then I did some on the edges of this stand die. And so I doubled up my flowers in two different sizes. I have the leaves. I did kind of mold them a little bit in my hands, and then I added, I think the iridescent foil gems is what I did on that. So that one is mine, and I did, lots of layer and lots of dimension. You know me, I love my dimensionals. So that is the one that I did, which could go on pretty much any bag, or if you wanted to kind of maybe turn it into a card front, you might be able to do that as well. All right, so there we have it. That is my tag swap. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Let's go ahead and bring back in the card that I made during my video, and then the one that I did for my monochromatic crumb cake blog hop today on Instagram that I also showed on Facebook. So anyway, I am so glad that several of you stuck around and watched my presentation of the swaps that I received for the tag swap, the over the top tags. And until next week, we will talk to you later. Goodbye.